One of my favorite pieces of structure is, well, I'll let you guess what it is. It has a lot of forage fish, and it's got really good structure, and lots of food there, lots of food. A lot of food and forage on this particular piece of structure. Good morning, guys and girls. June 6th, Malachi. Anybody look into the book of Malachi lately? Malachi 6, 3:10, excuse me. This is a long one. This is a great one, though, man. I'm telling you what, anybody doesn't love this verse, something's wrong with them. Bring to the storehouse a full tenth of what you earn, so there will be food in my house. That's talking about a tithe, a tenth of what you earn, so there will be food in my house. So we'll have plenty of food to take care of God's people that do working in his house. Today we'd be thinking about preachers and people that work in the church. Then God goes on to say, test me in this, says the Lord all-powerful. I will open the windows of heaven for you and pour out all the blessings you need. So what is that saying? Real simple. Tithe, and God will open the heavens of storehouse, pour out all the blessings on you. And here's what he says too. Don't believe me? Test me on this. Test me on this. You know, I've known a lot of Christians throughout my lifetime done just that. People that didn't tithe done just that. And sure enough, God pours out more than they need. Here's what I wrote about that. I hope I haven't already shot the covey on this. I don't really know. Fishermen have reached a point where the price of fishing lures doesn't seem to matter. As long as we believe we have a good chance to catch a fish, we'll gladly fork out big bucks for the hot new lure. And keep in mind, I wrote this 20 years ago, so listen to this next sentence. Even minnows and redworms now can cost $2 or $3 a dozen. Well, they're higher than that. It's good that we have a titanium split rings, which are lure savers, that release the hook and allow us to get our high-dollar plugs back. And that's an item we had a long time ago. I don't know if I haven't seen them in a long time. They were really great. It was a little lure saver that you put on you attach your hooks on a lure, and they got hung up, and they would open up, and they wouldn't lose any fish on them. I never had a big fish pull any of them off, but you could pull real hard on that, and it'd open up, and you leave the hook and get the lure back. Of course, the price of hooks nowadays are pretty high, too. But, you know, there are people paying hundreds of dollars for some of the swim baits we have right now. For each one, hundreds of dollars for some of the swim baits that we have now and some of the glide baits that we have, things like that. Amazing the cost of lures that we have nowadays. I can remember when we sold a titanium spinnerbait for $8.99, highest priced spinnerbait that you could ever imagine. Now they're all about that much, and our Red Man spinnerbait's like $5.99, $6.99, which is like the best buy on the marketplace. Here's the deal. We gladly pay hard-earned dollars for fish bait, but only a small percent of Christians tithe. Is that kind of a crazy statement there? We gladly pay hard-earned dollars for fish bait, but only a small percentage of Christians, saved, born-again Christians, tithe. Not a very large percentage do. Now, we could change that and say we gladly paying hard-earned dollars for bowling, golf, recreation, whatever, shoes. I didn't even think I was going to leave you girls out, did you? And yet only a small portion tithe. We could list lots of reasons why we don't tithe, but the fact remains that when we fail to tithe, we are showing dishonor to the very God that gave us that money in the first place. That's right. They gave us that money in the first place. Truth is, when we honor God, he will honor us even more. If you've been wrestling with whether you should be tithing or not, and many people do wrestle with that, we've had discussions in Sunday school classes about whether you should tithe on the gross income or you tithe on the net income after they take all the taxes out. And some people say, well, do you want a gross blessing or a net blessing? Which do you want? But God says right here in Malachi, test me in this, says the Lord all-powerful. I will open the windows of heaven for you and pour out all the blessings that you need. All the blessings that you need. Can I tell you, I've tested God on that. I wasn't doing it to test God, but I've sure seen that when I tithe, man, oh man, the blessings pour down. Here's our tip for today. There's generally a tremendous amount in food and forage on ripraps. I bet some of you got that right because I talk about ripraps a lot. Never pass a riprap without stopping and throwing at it. You might just stop and fish a point or two, or just fish 150 or 100 yards down or something like that. But because there's always fish around a riprap. They move up, feed, they move back out. They move up, feed, they move back out. We catch them up, feed, and we're going to whack them. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one. Tithing is very, very important if you want the maximum amount of God's blessings. Fish lucky. And remember, I sure do love you.